Good evening. It's approaching 9:30. Welcome to the weather update on this last day of November. And it was a really rainy, miserable afternoon into the evening. It lingered through the evening. It didn't really wrap up until about, I would say, 7 o'clock or so, finally. Yeah, it was really miserable out there. We're going to start with the highest wind gust reports from the Weather Service here. And you'll see here that we have... let's see, we got here. There was more than that. I know that. Yeah, mostly 40s for wind gusts. But you'll notice out east, Fire Island got up to 55 miles an hour. I saw wind gusts over in Queens. I don't know why it's not showing up here. Maybe that was a Larchmont Harbor wind gust. 66. I think at 55 was the Kings Point. But yeah, some pretty strong winds out on the water. Over land, not as much. We were fortunate that we didn't really see the worst of it. Oh yeah, here we go. I missed this. Queens, 51 miles an hour, Kew Gardens Hill. So, yeah, there was some pretty high wind gusts in Queens. Nassau County didn't get quite as bad with the wind gusts. Looking at the satellite here, you can see all this crap is now out of here. There it is. So moving on out. Clear skies are clearing after dealing with quite a bit of rain. Looking at the radar, you can see all the rain is now well off to the east. But it did take a while to get there. And again, if we look at the Ventus sky, and we'll just do Ventus sky, rewind the radar here for a minute, you see what was going on. The heaviest rain came through around 4 or 5 o'clock. 4 or 5 o'clock. You can see right here. And it lingered around a little bit. You can see still lingering. Here we are at 6 o'clock, still lingering. One more band of showers coming through around 6:30 for Long Island. And finally, it got on out of here. But it did take a little longer than I was expecting it to take. And we didn't really get that line of we didn't see that squall line. I think that's why it was supposed to be a little more concentrated in that squall line, but we didn't quite see that. Looking at the map right now, you can see all the winter weather advisories. That's for the storm in the Pacific Northwest. Also high wind warnings, fire weather watches in parts of Colorado, and there are those lake effect snow warnings again being posted upstate for lake effect snow for starting tomorrow. So let's quickly look at the current observations outside right now across our area. And you can see the winds have shifted to the northwest. Temperatures are dropping right now. Still mild for this time of the year, 52 at Islip. We can see 40s, though. It's actually cooler as the cooler air has made it to New Jersey first. You can see 40s in New Jersey. Let's take a look and see what the day at Islip was like today. You get an idea of what it was like out there. And it was just really disgusting. Temperatures approaching 60 degrees, very humid. Very strong winds. You can see these strong winds and rain for the most part. We had light rain start in the morning, and then heavier rain really developed after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then it lingered on until around 6 o'clock. Out east, looks like it lingered a little more toward past 7 o'clock there. So it took a little while, and then finally the dry air came in, and the dew points dropped after 7 o'clock at night tonight. So let's take a look at our high temperatures and our rainfall. I think we'll first start with the rainfall, so let's do that. I guess we'll do 12-hour precipitation and show us the rainfall. And it looks like most areas got the expected amount of rainfall. It looks like we did get mostly the expected amount here. A little more, though. I see a 1.01 over Syosset and a 0.83. So parts of the North Shore may have gotten a little more. 0.50 in the Mineola area, 0.76, 0.52 in Ronkonkoma. 0.50, 0.63. It seemed heavier than it was, I guess, because of the wind. About a half an inch in the city. And Jersey also got about a half an inch as well. So roughly a half an inch for most locations as far as the rain goes. High temperatures today. We'll go to high temperatures here. Obviously got well up there. Let's see what we got. So, yeah, highs got up to 58, upper 50s on Long Island, and, pretty much upper 50s and a 61 there in Newark. So, quite warm. Not record-breaking, I guess, but, fairly warm, again, for this time of the year. But luckily, colder air is coming in. Power outage situation right now. We have 568 customers without power. It was in the thousands during the peak of the storm. Most of these outages are on the North Shore. Some in the middle of the island as well. And hardly any on the South Shore, as you see. Hardly any on the South Shore. Like nothing on the South Shore, basically. Just very small outages. All the larger ones are concentrated either in the middle of the island. There's one in Comac and one in South Setauket. There's also one affecting the St. James train station. I don't know if that's been corrected yet. So that's pretty much what it looks like with the power outage situation on Long Island. Now let's go to the larger picture here with the weather. And it was a horrible tornado outbreak, actually. Let me put the AccuWeather back up here because there was a horrible tornado outbreak. And the tornado outbreak turns deadly across the south. So 2 fatalities have been reported after dozens of tornadoes touched down Tuesday across Mississippi, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The tornado outbreak left homes badly damaged and triggered widespread power outages. 35 reports of tornadoes last night. I'll put this in the description. This is unbelievable. It's totally not normal. This is, again, part of the changing climate that we're in. Don't ask Wall Street. They just celebrated today. Let's... climate crisis, I should say, because changing climate is not really a good enough way to describe what's happening with our atmosphere. So let's go look at the larger picture here, Conus view, not the Conus view, North American view, so we can look at the jet stream, show you what's going to be happening as we head into December. That's not what I want to look at. I'll look at that after. So here's the jet stream, and you will see here, there's the trough that's coming through. It's bringing us the colder air. And you can see there's that trough over the west. That's what's keeping a lot of the cold air. That's what's bringing the storminess to the northwest, but it's also keeping most of the cold air away from the east. That trough looks like it starts to break down as we get into the middle part of December. And there will be some opportunities for some more cold air as we get later on in the month. You can see, especially toward the end of the run, of course, is when we see those. Looks like some Arctic outbreaks there. So looking at the 500 MB height anomaly. Of course, we are using the GFS here to show you, again, there's that passing trough, and then we have the ridge come back. So you can see no real troughs until we get a little further into December there. All right. So that means that it really won't be all that cold. We don't have significant cold anomalies. So if we go and we could move this down to the CONUS view and look at our temperature anomaly chart. Let's do that. Move down here. You will see here we have the cool down for tomorrow in the east. Then we go right back to near normal on Friday and above normal on Saturday ahead of the next cold front. Next cold front comes through, it cools down, but just slightly below normal to near normal. This is when we got to wait to see that Arctic air building up there. But meanwhile, in our area, we're still dealing with above normal temperatures. Eventually, we start seeing some of that Arctic air coming down, that colder air, as we get toward the middle of the month. So let's look at the surface now. And so we have this high pressure. It's going to build in, give us some gusty northwest winds. You can see the tight isobars. Winds relax tomorrow night, so it'll probably be a cold one. Then Friday, the high starts to move offshore. And then here comes the next front, which could bring yet more rain for Saturday. And then another high pressure system builds in behind that for Sunday. And that stays with us until Tuesday, when we start seeing some clouds and shower chances come in. And then we have to watch for a little bit of possibility of stalled front syndrome here. And then this high will eventually build in by next weekend. And that, with the storm offshore, look at that, how far that storm is offshore. That could pull down some very cold air. And, of course, if it tracks differently, that could be our first snow event of the season. So, taking a close look at our area here, let's go and look at our HRRR model. Obviously, the rain is out of here. Tomorrow, though, you will see those lake effect snows upstate. For us, should be mostly sunny, but there might be some passing clouds around. And then that high eventually starts to move off to the south on Friday, giving us more of a west to southwesterly flow, which brings us the warmer weather. And here comes the next chance for rain, hopefully not like tonight. So looking at the dew points, you see dew points have dropped tonight. Dew points will be below freezing tomorrow. So this is dry air. And then as we make our way into Friday, the winds become more southwesterly. Dew points still low. And so we're not going to see any of that moisture yet. Temperatures. Not going to see radiational cooling tonight, but it will be in the mid-30s when you get up. Tomorrow, we're going to struggle to reach the low 40s, so it'll be a lot colder. And then tomorrow night, is when we have a good opportunity for some radiational cooling. Perhaps we'll see lows. Again, I think a lot of us are going to see lows in the upper 20s. However, the Pine Barrens could see teens. And then as we get into Friday, a little bit warmer with mid-40s, which is a little closer to normal for this time of the year. Going ahead further, we'll go to the GFS, and we'll stick with the air temperatures here. Actually, we'll move this to the dew points. So here are the dew points, and you'll see as we get into Saturday, you see that moisture come back in again. And that's a significant amount of moisture again, dew points into the 50s. That could give us yet more rain, and look at those strong winds again. So this could be a similar situation for Saturday again with this front, and another rainy afternoon and evening perhaps. Front comes through sometime in the around 7 o'clock or so, and you can see that sharp difference again with the front. Dry air comes in, dew points drop into the teens, and then we have the dry air be with us for a couple of days there, and then you can see that really this might try to get in here. We'll have to watch this. May come in through the back door for next week. Hopefully, we can get that. Looks like some nice Arctic air, but then after that, we finally get into some of that really nice Arctic air. Temperatures, because we should have Arctic air. It is, after all, climatological winter once we get into December. So here we are Saturday. You can see that warm surge. Again, another warm surge for Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday, you can see temperatures drop again, low 40s. So very similar situation to what we just dealt with. And then temperatures moderate Monday into Tuesday a little bit. You can see a little bit of stall front syndrome there. And then you can see that cold air to the north trying to get in, but eventually it will by next weekend. And that's when we have the cool down, I think, when that trough comes through. Look at that, mid-30s for highs. So that's a little more December-like what we're supposed to see. Okay. Now that we did that, we'll go ahead and we'll just look at the lake effect snowfall forecast. See how much could be warm. I don't think it'll be as bad as the last one, but still some areas could see perhaps up to 8 inches to a foot. Looks like mostly around the Oswego area. Skies. All right, let's go to skies next. So here is your forecast for the skies. Tomorrow we may have to watch for stratocumulus buildup because of lake effect. Friday, this is the lower resolution GFS, but Friday looks like we'd have a better chance for clear skies. And then Saturday, obviously, dealing with the clouds. And then Sunday, we clear it on out again. This is the low resolution GFS. Monday, we have a clear day, and then the clouds come back for Tuesday. This is the low resolution GFS. FV3, which is the higher resolution, don't have enough of that in yet. I'm just going to stick with the RGEM. And here's the RGEM for tomorrow. And you see RGEM showing some of those possible small amount of lake effect clouds. RGEM a little more conservative with that. Problem is when we get to Friday, then we got to worry about the cirrus getting closer. All right. And then here comes that front for Saturday. RGEM is faster with it. It actually brings it through faster, I noticed right away. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Obviously, that timing on that, it's just too early to tell the exact timing on that front. We can do, I can pull this to the earlier FV3, I guess, if you want to look at the GFS here. This is the earlier FV3 for tomorrow. So you see, we will have to watch possibly for those clouds. It looks like more over Long Island than New Jersey. However, there are differences in the models, again. And if we go to the Event2 Sky model and use this is the HRRR's output, of course, for tomorrow. You will see it generates a lot more clouds pretty much all over the area. Here's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So we'll have to watch for the possibility of some lake effect clouds. It really won't be completely clear, but hopefully we'll have mostly sunny skies tomorrow after today's rainy misery. So that is going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.